Hello and welcome to Homestead Imaginations. I am Josh and we are going to be doing the Food Forest tour. Today is June 8th and I'm going to go through and show off everything that we've got going on in what we are calling our food forest. This is a little bit this will be outside technically what we're calling the food forest, but it's also perennials. So this is our elderberry bush. This is its second year. And it's doing great. The first year it really didn't have too much growth. Maybe about half the size of this bush was what grew last year, and it's already doubled in size, and it's only early June. So this should have massive growth this year, which is super exciting. And I got 2 of them for now, and we will most likely add more, but I'm not sure. I wanted to kind of see how much we use and went from there. They're kind of bigger bushes. And then over here we've got I'm starting a little blackberry patch. I transplanted these all from wild blackberries that were at the end of the road. They're thornless, so I figured why not, and they tasted pretty good. So the canes themselves from last year, most of them seem to be alive. There's definitely a couple that might be dead, but they should start flowering by the end of the month, maybe July, if I remember correctly from last year when we were picking the blackberries at the end of the road. But they're also growing, a few of these are growing brand new shoots, so that's perfect. That means they did survive and they are established. So got some new growth to really start this blackberry patch, and I still got a lot of work to do. I want to mulch this area and get it covered. But now we're going to walk into, so here we've got this is one of the trellises that we're going to be using to enter the food forest. We're going to be putting in a deer fence this summer, 8-foot tall deer fence around this entire grow area. It's going to go from the corner over there, come up, and then cut straight across right in front of here, and then go loop into there a little bit, and then go down that line all the way to the end of where the trees are, and then cut over and then go right there to the end of the deck. So it's going to be a big area, and this is going to be this whole area. I want to basically be maximizing the entire space. I don't want to be leaving any space not doing something. So over time there will be a lot of additions, but this is, in the previous video I showed the grapes. They are starting to rebound. They're getting some fresh new green leaves. They are growing taller. Just definitely taking a little bit of time. Again, they got some damage from the grow light. They got too tall and I wasn't watering them enough, and they got burnt and a lot of leaves died. And then they did get a little burnt when they first came out here and actually experienced real sun. So this is the first trellis. We're also going to have a small trellis gate, like right here in the front, and then there will be an actual door here in the fence to actually access into here. So starting with the food forest. Oop, and I dropped my sheet. So this is how I mapped it all out when I ordered everything and planned it all out where it was going to go. So starting here, this is the Tartarian cherry, and it's already got a decent amount of growth. I just got my last tree in on Friday. Yeah, Friday I got my last tree. There's one tree that got delayed. And then this is the blackcurrant titania, which is already first year. We just put this in. So everything in this food forest area is all brand new this year. Just got put in the last couple months, but this has already got some berries on it. I've never even had black currants, but I've seen a lot of homesteaders and gardeners have them, so I want to try them. That's a rhubarb. This is a Corolla sea berry, and it needs some mulch, and then it'll rebound. It'll start growing. The leaves will go from yellow to green. It just needs some mulch and some compost put on here, because I already did it to some of the other rows and they rebounded really nicely. This one is Empire apple. So most of these are all going to be basically sticks. So there's not going to be a lot of outward growth yet, but I'm hoping they settle into their new spot nice and they grow some good growth, so we can hopefully have these produce fruit hopefully in a few years, hopefully like 3 and not too much longer. So this is a Bing cherry, and this back one here is a orange energy sea berry. Now the sea berry trees are something that I had researched and found. I did not know what they were beforehand, but sea berry trees are a nitrogen fixing tree, and that means like they put nitrogen back into the soil. So the way I have mapped this all out is that every other fruit tree that's not a sea berry tree that's out here either is like kitty corner or next to, in line, or across in another row a sea berry tree. So hopefully, you know, when they get bigger and their roots start to maybe get near each other, they can start absorbing some of that nitrogen that's being provided. Plus, like in between here, I've only started it, but in the beginning I showed like the black currants and stuff. My goal is every row, so this is a row going that way, heading that way, is going to be a row, and in between all this I'm going to be growing different types of perennial plants. I have a list that are things I'll be planting next year, but I want to start with the fruit bushes because they take a while, and then rhubarb was a little bit easier, so I definitely wanted rhubarb. The kids were asking for rhubarb, so I made sure I put that in right away. But so the nitrogen fixing trees will also not only help the other trees, but they're also going to help everything else that I'm going to be growing in between these spaces. I'll be growing more like raspberries and different types of things, which we'll get to. I have more raspberries in here, but like I have 8 total rows. 6, 7, yep, 8 total rows. I had to make sure. For some reason I was thinking I had 9. 8 total rows. So every single row is going to be growing stuff in between, and then eventually, like in between the rows, I'll also be doing stuff. So right now I've partnered up with a woman who runs a flower business, and she needed more space to grow more flowers to be able to expand her business. So she is now planting flowers. I forget what flowers she's got planted here to start with. She was going to do dahlias and zinnias, but I don't think she planted those yet because this is extremely thick, hard clay. This is with a tractor. I borrowed my neighbor's tractor and tried to turn this, and this is helpful. It definitely helped, but that's the best it could do. It's just so thick, and it's been so wet that everything's just clumping and sticking together. So my goal is, and you can kind of see it in the background, and I'll show it when we get over to that, but I am putting cow manure and compost down in each row and then topping it with wood chips, and that's all I'm going to do for this year. But like in future years, and probably in this area, I'm going to try and cover this area too, these 2 rows here that I've kind of already dug up. I want to fill in these 2 rows hopefully with compost and wood chips, so that way it will break down, and in time, it's going to take a couple years, but in time it will break down this hard thick clay that I have here and start turning this into extremely healthy and rich soil to really have things take off. So that's the goal. She'll be expanding and doing even more flowers here. I hope to provide a much better soil for her to be able to do that, and it's a really cool partnership. We'll get more flowers for the bees that we hopefully want to get next year, and just even still now bring in pollinators, and then have a lovely sight to see with some great smells. So this is the Chicago Hardy Fig, which is doing really well. Everything I'm pretty excited about is doing really well. This is a Macintosh apple, and this was actually planted last year. So last year I decided, we should get a few fruit trees. We got 2 apple and 2 pear. One of the pears didn't make the transport. It died. As soon as I planted it, it just never grew. So this is doing well. It's already, got quite a bit of growth on it. It did decent last year. It lost some of its growth because deer ate a bunch of the branches in the fall. Like when everything started falling and dying down, like the deer came through and ate some of its branches. The other one I'll show is even in worse condition than that one. But, all right, so then here we have a pink champagne currant. It looks really cool. It's like a nice pink, pink looking currant. Again, it just looked cool. I think it was on sale when I got it. So I was like, you know what, why not add it in this year? Why not give myself even more stuff to do? This is the Red Haven peach. Again, most of these came in pretty late. In the last, I think like 2 weeks. Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks I got a bunch of these. This was a rhubarb. That one has definitely died. So that'll be one I'll restart again next year. Again, the soil's really crappy and I didn't do much to amend them. Like I dug out and put a little topsoil in there, but that's not a lot, and then I didn't cover it. So it needed a lot more help than I had time to really give. But this is the red currant Red Lake. So that's really small. I mean, it's grown some growth, but not a lot. So this one is a little disappointing on its progress. So hopefully it does something as the year goes on. This one is a Red Delicious apple, and this was bought and it came in a 7-pound grow bag. So it's basically like, it looks like a 2-year tree. It looks like it's actually flowering there. Wow. That'd be crazy if that's flowering and we might get like our first fruit this year. That would be interesting. That'd be pretty cool. I just noticed that. I try and come out here and check on these things all the time. Like, I love watching things grow. So that's on to the next row. And we've got brown turkey fig. This one, not too much growth, but doing pretty decent. This one is another black currant. This one is the Ben Conan black currant. And this one also has some currants growing. So they just started, so they got a ways to go, but hopefully they taste good. There's another rhubarb. Again, kind of struggling. Didn't do the best. This is the male seaberry. Yep, male seaberry. So seaberry plants need a male. So I have 2 males out here, positioned in a way that they're in close enough proximity to all the females, because they produce orange, I guess a very tart berry. Again, never had that before, but I figured if I'm going to do, which I was going to do, nitrogen fixing trees, because I really want to help the soil, because I have clay. It really needs a lot of help. So I wanted to get nitrogen fixing trees to help feed everything and help with the soil. So I went with sea berries because they actually produce a fruit. On top of being a nitrogen fixing tree, they actually produce a fruit. Now it said right online that it's pretty tart. It's not something like you're going to just pick and eat like right off the plant. It's something that you kind of mix, maybe do like juices and stuff with other things. Here is a tiny little strawberry plant, which we're going to get to. There's a few of them actually. This one right here. And these are not planted. These are from the animals stealing my strawberries from last year, and then apparently either burying them or eating them and, releasing their seeds. But here is a Honeycrisp apple. This was from last year, so this one has even less growth than the previous one from last year. Oh, and the noodles are because when the wind blows, this was rubbing against the metal cage there to protect it from the trees, or the deer from eating like the base of it to kill the plant. So I put those on so that way they won't cut into the bark and eventually kill the tree. So this one lost a lot of growth last year from the deer eating it at the end of the season. And So it's basically like straight up. There's not much outward growth because they basically ate everything off. But here's another spot where animals really did their thing. Here's a bunch of strawberry around, and they're super small. Like, look at these little things. It's pretty cute and it's pretty funny, but like they're like the size of basically raspberries, and they kind of look like raspberries because they're just not fully formed. They don't really look like strawberries, but they're these tiny little things. I haven't even tried them before to see if they're like how they taste. I'll have to have the boys try them tonight. But like it's letting off runners, so I'm gonna let them go and just see what happens. I was thinking about planting a bunch of strawberries directly around the base of a tree and see what happens. So those might stick around. And on to the next. This is the one that just came in on Friday, and luckily it came in, it already had growth. But this is the Sun Glow Nectarine. Alright, wind's blowing. Licora sea berry. I think see like all the sea berries look very similar. They came in full growth. They had all this stuff on them. But there's another sea berry. Then we've got the Summer Crisp Pear, and this one is done fantastic. It's growing so well. It's already taller than me, which is pretty exciting. So I'm thinking this one hopefully next year will actually produce some fruit. So we'll see. But it's doing really well. Once I get the fence up, like all the way around the property, the deer fence, I'm gonna take all these cages off because I won't need them anymore. And they should be doing a lot better. Dogs. This is a Portland apple. This one's like just really taken off. Just got that this year, and that's a lot of growth. So that one's doing awesome. Really love that one. Oh, and I grew sunflowers, and I didn't know where I wanted to stick them and where I wanted to put them. I wanted to line our driveway with sunflowers, but I had manure being delivered. I had wood chips being delivered, so they would just get destroyed. So I decided to just throw them here for now. I won't put them again, probably grow them again here next year, but they're doing all right. They were pretty root bound when I first planted them out here. I took I think there's like 12 of them, and I had them in one pot. So they're also intertwined, so it was kind of a mess. Here's this little guy. This is a royal purple raspberry. This one I'm actually pretty excited about to try. I think I even missed one. Yeah, back there I did. I skipped right over one of the raspberries. This is the royal purple. It's a purple looking raspberry, pretty neat. So I got distracted before walking over, but this is the other one, and this is the double golden raspberry. So should be cool. Again, never had that one yet either. So just putting one in, see what happens, see how well it tastes, how much we like it, and then go from there. So this is the Radiant Sea Berry. Another rhubarb. Some more sunflowers here. Then we've got another red currant red lake. So I got two of those, but this one is much taller. And it's got more growth. Not a lot of growth, like extra growth like this from this year so far. So I'm hoping it just needs like warmer weather to really put on growth, but like it just from there. Colin! But it does have tiny little, I don't know if you can even see them, they're right there. Tiny little red currants growing. So hopefully they grow to full size so we can actually try those, see how those taste. This is a Granny Smith apple tree. Man, the bugs are terrible. It rained like all day yesterday, and you can feel it because the bugs are just absolutely nasty. This is a Pink Lady apple tree. And This is a Pixwell gooseberry. So this is starting to put off some new growth, some new shoots finally. So this is the start. So I've put the cow manure. I put the cow manure on this row. I haven't even finished the row yet. And then I'll wood chip it once I'm done with that. But it's been like non-stop raining, and then I've also been working on the chicken coop and other projects. So this got put on pause, but I want to try and get this wrapped up as soon as I possibly can. Damn, friggin' mosquitoes are eating me alive here. Alright, so that's the Pixwell gooseberry. Oh yeah, rhubarb here, another rhubarb. That one's not doing great. I need to really mulch to help that out, cover this up. So then we get to, this is a patent pear. This one is the patent pear. I tried growing it last year, but it didn't make the transport, and so they sent a new one this year. So, and it made it. Everything is growing great. I didn't have any losses this year. I had all the holes pre-dug beforehand and ready to go, and every time I got trees, I planted them the same day. I think actually some of them I may have planted the next morning, but pretty much I've been trying. I got everything in like the same day. I didn't want to risk it. I wanted everything in as soon as possible so they could get situated and start their growth. This is another Granny Smith apple tree. And then that's as far as I got. Then the cow manure stops. This is the Great Tilton apricot. Actually, he's got some growth. It was one of the later ones that just started shooting off growth. This is a Gala apple tree. So there's a total of 39 total fruit trees on the property now. This is the Pink Lady apple. And then this is what I mean, like I'm mulching it. So it is like, it's not the easiest to tell, but like I've gone in total with like the mulch and the wood chips, I've gone anywhere from like 4 inches to maybe like 5 or 6 inches thick. The goal is to basically kill the grass, kill all the weeds that are underneath as well, and then get it to a point where it will start breaking down in the coming like year and 2 years, and all this stuff will be starting to break down and really boost the soil. This is the Toka plum, another one that I just got this year, doing absolutely fabulous, like growing so much already. Like this is doing so great. I'm so excited for some of these trees, and I got the ones that were doing the best I got from St. Lawrence Nursery, all the way up near the Canadian border, and their trees are just absolutely awesome. This is the other male seaberry. Then we've got Liberty apple, definitely putting out some nice growth, especially right there. That's a nice little addition. Then we have another Pixwell gooseberry, and it looks like it's got like a branch that's like dead. There's nothing growing on that, but it's also got plenty of growth on the other shoots here, so it's doing just fine. It's super healthy. It's growing very well. It just had one section of it just not have anything, so we'll have gooseberries here. This is the hard-eared nectarine. Got decent starts. And on to the next row. This is another Licora seaberry. This is the Moore Park apricot. Next in line is another Macintosh apple. We really like our apples, if you couldn't tell. We've got so many different kinds. There's only like a few like top tier ones like that you commonly see that we don't have. We could add more. I don't have any plans as of right now to add more, but it definitely could happen. This one, like these branches look good. There's little stubs, but they're not really doing much. There's literally only just this little growth. So I'm hoping more shoots start popping out from some of these other little branches. It seems like they've all kind of suffered and just not wanting to put out any growth. So this one is probably the least productive out of the trees. It's only got that one. Everything else is doing at least decent. This is the Frugana sea berry. Back here we have our second red delicious apple. Same thing as the last one. It came in a 7-pound grow bag. I was hoping for good growth this year and hoping to be able to get apples off this next year was the goal, but that other one had flowers, so I'm just checking to see if this one does, but it doesn't look like it, but that's okay. I wasn't expecting flowers out of any of the trees this year, but I am hoping at least some of my trees start fruiting next year, hopefully. Oh, gotta hurry up. Video's gonna end here. Superior plum. That is the next one. Decent growth. This is an orange glow sea berry. Definitely like their orange names because they put out that orange fruit. The fruit looks really good. This is just a nice, cool looking bright orange. This is another honey crisp apple. Doing really good. Lots of growth all the way down the whole thing. This is a gala apple. I'd probably say this one's probably like in second place for like the least productive, but it is starting to have these little shoots here. So it's definitely got more. It's got, you know, at least probably 10 that are getting started. So it's just starting to actually like pump out. And then finally, a Cortland apple. So, really good growth. And then we got there, that's composting bins. I plan on doing, I'm probably gonna turn this whole row right here into composting bins. With all the gardens I have and fruit trees and everything else, like I really need a lot of compost. So I'm probably gonna do a ton of compost bins and then start researching and finding places locally that are giving away stuff, like, or would just normally throw stuff away, and start collecting different things that I can compost here, so I can get more compost for the gardens. So this is the what's going to be the food forest. So yeah, the fence is going to come along here, come up the back, cut across, and then cut up towards the deck there. I don't know why I can't think of the word. So this tree right here is going to come down. That's just a random tree. So that's going to come down because I want this to grow food. This whole area growing food. So that's the food forest. Really excited. It's going to take a few years to fully get established, but I wanted to get the fruit trees in first, top priority, and then start working the soil. So like I'm hoping like next year, like when I go, big push next year will be to fill in between the trees. So like fill that space like right here with growing different things. And so I'll be filling in a bunch of this. I won't max this out next year. I won't get everything filled out and spaced by next year. It's going to take a long time. Probably a couple years at least, if not maybe longer. I'm not in a rush because I also want to taste things. I want to try things, see what things I want to grow more of. You know, find out from friends and family like what things that they really like, and then make sure I grow plenty of those so I can also give that to friends and family of things that they like. So this is the food forest. I hope you enjoyed this tour. I was super excited. Could not wait to make this video. I am so excited for what the future holds for this area. It's going to be so awesome, and it's going to be so different from what it is right now. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and comment down below. I'll catch you next time. Keep the imagination rolling. Bye-bye.